There it is. Yeah.
Yes, she's pregnant.
rehearsing the script.
شوف البطن كيف مفكر pregnant.
Yes. But I like that they used metallic wood.
Yeah.
Her features, يعني her nose is not small. It's Palestinian or Arabic.
She don't have foreign features.
Yes, that's right. Right.
I knew that I wanted to make a play about Mary in Bethlehem. How about interviewing people about who is she today? And I wanted to ask Christians and Muslims, who is she? And then just listen.
Mary is very deeply rooted in our culture. She's a Palestinian mother, she's a Palestinian woman, she's a Palestinian fighter.
I grew up in a Muslim family. I knew about Mary. I've always knew how important she is in Islam. And in school, they teach us that there's a whole surah in the Quran called Maryam by her name, and that's very special.
I am a Muslim, but I lived in a non-religious family. I was growing up in a Bejala. Most of their residents are Christian.
All the iconic places in Bethlehem are about Mary. I've been raised as a Roman Catholic. My mother had a great devotion to Mary, and I was never very interested in it. It wasn't until I was teaching the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, that I really began to understand Mary. In the Quran, she's a single mom. There's no Joseph. She herself gives birth alone, and she herself decides to go back to her village, knowing that the entire village is going to say, "You're a whore."
After getting involved in this play, it was fascinating to me to know how people have personal, deep stories with her.
So this play, Maryam, a Woman of Bethlehem, is a verbatim play, and every word in it was spoken by Palestinians. All I did was just shape it into a play.
I was surprised, and it moved me. Seeing Mary in different roles in our lives, it meant a lot for me and changed my perspective to Mary. Like, I liked her more, yeah.
She becomes a window through which we see women, the face of Palestinian women. This is a way to get the story out, is through the theater. We've all heard the Israeli side. The world needs to hear the Palestinian side.
On February, Victoria came, and it was very busy schedule. Dalia and I went to work, and afterward we got lunch, and then started the rehearsals every day, like almost every day.
I like this. That's a good idea.
Yes, that's what I was
That's a good
trying to
idea.
say. When I say we have to مثلا, explain her situation.
Yes, that's a really good idea. I wanted Palestinian women to speak, to have them play 22 characters between them. 50% English, 50% Arabic.
We can't find words In Arabic. No.
You're kidding!
Yeah.
No, I don't.
It more gives the meaning of women who married or who doesn't marry, who just have children without getting married.
This is the fourth of 4 plays, and the focus of those 4 plays was Islamophobia.
We've now skipped the fun.
We're not always looking for the acceptance because it's beyond expectations. Because we're Palestinians, we are in the Middle East, we are Arab, some of us are Muslim. And you know all the stereotypes about all these things.
We are asked to go and fight with our men at the checkpoints, and then I have to come home and obey my father.
Okay. Now, this is where you...
We wanted the audience from the United States to see them as human beings, not as some kind of victim, not as some kind of stereotype that whatever media has created for Palestinian people. We wanted the audience to begin to understand Palestinians who have desires and hopes and lives just like they do.
I couldn't practice out loud.
I always want the world to know that I exist. I'm a human being and I'm a person who have dreams actually. I'm a dreamer.
This play reveals who Palestinians are.
Professor, what did people... some people...
I mean the people who are more
Traditional.
traditional. Yeah.
In the play, I do a role of an imam and speaking the Quran out loud.
Because only men in Palestine can give a sermon in the mosque.
It was really a striking experience for me, like, oh my God, people will hear me reading the Quran out loud and like putting the hat of an imam.
Okay, so we have no idea what this is in your hand, so you have to show us.
Yes.
So...
And this is maybe unusual for the Palestinian culture and Arabic culture that females give a sermon. I feel that I am empowered, I feel that I'm heard, that I have an impact on people.
There's a wall in the Middle East. We here as Muslims, we here as Christians. We have walls in our ears.
It made me feel that there's a liberation from the restrictions that you have as a person in everyday life. And that's the fascinating thing in art, in theater. Like it's a tool to express yourself and to talk about issues, different kind of issues.
Economic systems, global systems, and then the literal occupation.
That's it. Good.
One of the characters I play, called Layla, she was molested as a child. And she was brave enough to tell her story.
No one talks about sexual abuse. If I talked publicly, I would be shamed.
It wasn't easy to say what she was saying. Layla used the word vagina, and 3 times. And for us as Arab culture, it's not acceptable to be heard, especially in Arabic. And when I read the script, I got like, my mind went, oh my God.
كان شفاف لمريم وكنت في كل مرة بتعرض فيها للتحرش بروح وبطلب منها السماح. بطلب منها إنه يروح لبعيد وإنه الشعور اللي معبي رحمة يروح لبعيد. أنا كنت بحكي مع التمثال. العذراء كانت الشخص اللي كنت بتوجه له. بتذكر كيف كنت أركع لها على ركبي وأحكي لها دخيل إجريكي يا عذراء، ما تخلي هذا الشيء يصير كمان مرة. دخيل إجريكي، ما تخليني أحس هيك كمان مرة.
And I went to my father. Read that, I'm going to say all of that. What do you think? And he said, can we edit some words without losing the idea? And I remember me going to Victoria and tells her, so what if we talk about it in a cultural context that is acceptable. You know, in Arab culture, when we say that woman was killed based on honor crime, that gives the same meaning.
Which I am happy to be alive. Even if I live under occupation, even if I was molested as a child.
The story of the occupation of Palestine is very much like Mary's story. She lived in an occupied country, the Roman Empire. This play reveals who Palestinians are, the culture, the resilience, and the resistance. You know, there's a saying in Palestine, to survive is resistance, just to survive.
I think Mary is the one who caused the resistance in Jesus. I don't think a child can grow up being part of the resistance if their mother did not put it there inside of them. It's not the father, it's the mother who usually does that.
Mary taught her son to be resilient and to resist the occupation and like to fight for what he believed. I do that too for my child. I teach him to be a fighter. I teach him that resistance can be in many forms. I don't like to introduce him to violence or all these things, but we're Palestinians and this is our reality. The separation wall, I can't explain it to my child, really. Because in my parents' house, the wall is very obvious. And he said, "What's that, Mom? It looks like a stadium." I didn't know how to explain it.
Palestine needs to not be erased, because that's the sense that you get when you go there.
Our show, Maryam, a woman of Bethlehem. Bethlehem is in Palestine, and we are speaking out for the Palestinians. So you can imagine how a real chance it is as a Palestinian to be heard, to be recognized, and for other people to get the chance to know what it looked like to live in this occupied land.
It wasn't enough for me to just stay in the occupation back in history in Mary's time. What I wanted to also know was, what difference does Mary make in today's occupation?
You can imagine how it feels to have borders that make you feel like you are in jail, but a very spacious jail. You can walk around, but where they allow you to. And if you want to go to Jerusalem, you have to get through the checkpoint. Going through checkpoints is not a simple, easy thing. I always feel afraid. We don't have the right to use airport in Palestine. So to get out of Palestine, you have to go through multiple borders.
We can't fly from Palestine. So we have to go to Jordan to fly from Palestine to the US.
As much as it's sad and hard to go through, when you try to look to the bright side, we are coming to the US for something, and it's worthy. I hoped that when I was in Palestine, in Bethlehem during the rehearsals and all the process, I hoped that people come to the performance and hear us.
We made it.
You made it. You made it.
Yeah.
Doing this in the US, really, I feel that I'm doing something for Palestine. I'm doing something great for Palestine and for the women in Palestine also.
It's huge to have a real chance to introduce yourself and introduce Palestine, Palestinian people, Palestinian issue to the world.
This is the way, like what we're doing. It's art, it's international, it's theater. So if we do that, the message will spread for all the world.
Tell me about this icon on the separation wall. It's quite famous now.
Notice that Mary's pregnant? That's what's unusual. I called it Our Lady Who Brings Down Walls.
أنا بقرأ سورة مريم لما أكون حزينة أو وحيدة أو لما بنحط من الحياة.
In my teenage years, Mary annoyed me. I told that priest, she annoys me. She's always silent. She's not feisty. She doesn't speak for herself. She feels foreign to me.
كنا نمشي كلياتنا مع بعض على طريق جبل الزيتون، المكان اللي بيعتقدوا إنها طلعت منه للسما.
وصلنا بنص الليل.
على الفجر.
We ate كعك and falafel.
And I ate donut for the first time.
Yes. Do you remember that Jewish guy? In the 80s, the roads were open. There was no wall. So this Jewish guy had a shop and he made jelly-filled powdered sugar donuts.
وصلنا الساعة 6 الصبح والحبات كانت تطلع سخنة ومليانة سكر مطحون وجلي، بتقدري تتخيلي ريالة ولد صغير على هيك حلو.
وكانت هاي أول نشوة حقيقية بحياتي.
ولما وصلنا هناك
إمياتنا كانوا يروحوا يصلوا وإحنا كنا ندوي شوية شمع وبعدين كنا نروح نلعب.
وقتها كنت أحس حالي كتير حرة تحت عيون أمنا.
كنا كلياتنا تحت عيون مريم.
كنا كلياتنا تحت عيون أمنا.
كنا كلياتنا تحت عيون مريم.
By doing this project, this experience, I really hope, and I wish that we get rid of all the stereotypes and we really show the world what we are.
Seeing the icon of Mary in the separation wall, it was striking because she's a female and she will bring down walls. I believe that. I believe that she will. And she represents us, the woman in Palestine.